There's a ton of videos out there of like, can you still build muscle and make gains past like 40, 50 years of age and so on? And of course the answer is yes, you can, because we never lose the ability to physiologically adapt to a training stimulus. Even if you're an elderly citizen, we always have the ability to change and adapt to at least some degree. But a more practical question should be, can you still make progress after a certain biological age, but can you make progress after a certain training age? Because we all have the potential to make progress, but we all use most of our progressive potential within a relatively short period of time. There's this myth in our fitness culture that no longer how long you've been training, you've always got this limitless runway in front of you and you can always make endless progress. But of course, we just know from a biological standpoint, that's not the case. You can't just infinitely get better and better at the same rate of speed as when you started out. And the other day I was listening to the London Real podcast with Steve Maxwell on it, because he's an isometric guy and I'm trying to learn more. And he basically said, yeah, most people will accomplish about 80% of their true potential in about 5 years of training, which can take quite a shot to the gut for a lot of people. They're like, I've been training for 7 years. Are you telling me like roughly this is as good as it's going to get? And the answer is yeah, potentially that is the case. But don't let that get you too frustrated though, because in order to achieve that 80% of potential in 5 years, there's a lot of stuff that's got to go very, very well for a very long period of time. One is your training has got to be consistent and locked down for the entire 5 years. So you don't take the holidays off. You're not taking like a semester off for school or study abroad. That is assuming you are training very seriously every single week, with the exception of things like the occasional illness or deload week or something. So 5 years, hard, consistent training. 2, you've been focusing on making progress and you've been learning for that entire 5 years. So you're not just hoping to work hard and have it all pan out in the end. You've been learning and educating yourself that entire 5 years. 3, you've been getting coached those entire 5 years, because most people don't even get close to half of their true potential on their own, no matter how hard you work. So having a coach or some sort of a trainer is part of that 5-year plan. And lastly is you have all of the other habits in your lifestyle dialed in and as serious as cancer. So you're getting 8 hours of sleep. Your diet is on point all the time kind of thing, with the exception of little things here and there. So if you have that laundry list, then yeah, you're gonna get most of your potential progression that you can naturally achieve in about 5, maybe 6 years or so. But most of us don't have that, ever, which should give you the information that you still have a lot of progressive potential, regardless of how long you've been training, if you've never been coached, if you're not taking diet and exercise seriously, and if your training is inconsistent, and if you're not focusing on trying to make progress in some way, shape, or form in every single workout. And even if you have that list nailed down for a solid 5 years, that's most of your potential. There's still a lot more potential you can tap into, but bear in mind that it usually takes a pretty radical shift in your approach to exercise in order to tap into it. So this is something like going from amateur status to pro level status, where you can quit your job and focus on training and nutrition and stuff full time. Things like that can help you get to that elite level. But most people, like myself, we don't have that. Like, I have to work for a living. I have a lot more going in my life, and I can't just focus on working out and maximizing my potential all of the time. But nevertheless, I always love hearing from you. Let me know your thoughts and questions down below. More information here. Thank you very much for watching. Till then, be fit, live free.